Coming up on today's show.
I think this applies to just about everything that you bring into your house. Where is it going to live? Where are you going to store it on a regular basis? When you walk in the door with it, where is it going to go?
People do they know they need to do it to get it fixed or whatever, but then they delay, and then so just you need to make that decision and have that rule in place.
If you truly have something that you want to be a part of your life and your world, honor it, use it, bring it into your home, make space for it.
Decision Fatigue Part 2, today on Keeping You Organized. Hello and welcome to Keeping You Organized. Today we are talking about decision fatigue. You wonder what that is? Well, it's something that you don't want to put off because making a lot of decisions kind of gets us overwhelmed and fatigued. But we started on our last episode talking with Perry Kirsch from neat-freak.com. And Perry, welcome back to Keeping You Organized.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, last time that we got together, we had these 10 rules that you like to live by that kind of make this decision fatigue a little bit more easy to deal with. Why don't you just kind of recap really quickly those first 5, and then we'll get into the second 5.
I would be happy to. So again, these are kind of my organizing rules to live by. And the reason I find them to be beneficial is that they keep people from having to make every single organizing decision. If you've kind of got these rules that you're going to live by, you don't have to decide, what am I going to do with this? How do I say yes? How do I say no every single time? So my first 5 were first by quality over quantity. If something makes you feel sad, guilty, or angry, you should let it go. When in doubt, say no. That's my number 3. I think no is one of the most powerful tools in our toolbox. Number 4, make your bed every single day. No decision to be made there. Just do it. And number 5 was, if it's going to take 5 minutes or less, just do it right now. Don't pause. Don't hesitate. Don't throw it down and say you'll get back to it. Just get it done.
Okay, great. So now we're going to move on to the second 5. Can't wait to hear them. Let's go with number 6.
Number 6. So similar to the 5-minute rule, this one I just call finish the job. I find that so often clients will kind of accumulate tasks and to-dos and things that they want to get back to, and they kind of get about 80% done on things. And getting 80% done on something is just really not very satisfying. And it leaves a lot of lingering tasks and unfinished business around the house or around your office. And so when I say finish the job, I'm like, really see it all the way through. And the perfect example I give of this, my husband, I love him and he's very helpful around the house, but we call him Mr. Soaker. Because he's often very helpful about doing the dishes, but every night there's that one pot he leaves in the sink that's the soaker. And it drives me crazy because the kitchen's not completely finished. It's 80 to 90% there, but it's just not quite done. So look for those opportunities where you can see a task through all the way so that things aren't accumulating and kind of wearing you out by having to circle back to them over and over again.
I think my 13-year-old can relate to your husband on that, doing the kitchen about 95%, and there's just that 1 or 2 things that just don't get done. But well, We'll have to live with that. Let's move on now to number 7.
Number 7, this is just a fundamental organizing principle. Give it a home. And I think this applies to just about everything that you bring into your house. Where is it going to live? Where are you going to store it on a regular basis? When you walk in the door with it, where is it going to go? And this just kind of trickles down into every layer of organization. I think it was Julie Morgenstern who first said, if it doesn't have a home, it's always going to be out of place. And this applies across the board. And it can save you some of that time and energy of making decisions about things. Once you have made that final decision, where is it going to live? It's always going to go there. You don't walk in with it in your pockets and think, oh, where do I gonna plug in my cell phone, or where do I put my keys? Where do I put my wallet? Where do I unpack my briefcase from the day? That decision's been made, and that's that home where that item's going to go back to. Right. And I find that for just so many clients, those homeless items that are floating around, or those things that land on the flat surface, that's the path of least resistance. This is where clutter just tends to accumulate, and it makes it so much harder when you have to face all of that at one time. But if everything has a home, it has a place to go back to, it's going to save you time, it's going to save you energy, and it's going to keep you from having to think so hard about it the next time you need to find it.
Yeah, definitely. You don't need to make that decision over and over and over again, reinventing the wheel. So, okay, well, how about number 8?
Number 8, this rule, applies to things that need to be fixed. And my rule to live by with this is if it's broken and it's been broken for over a year and you don't know how to fix it, you have to let it go. True confession, I am not a sewer. My mother, who was a home ec major, would be very disappointed to hear that, but I can barely thread a needle. So if I had to, I could sew a button on, but I'm never going to hem. I'm never going to darn. I'm never going to stitch something up that needs to be fixed. And so if this item's been sitting around just accumulating for a long period of time, I just need to let it go, or I need to find someone else who's going to fix it for me. And so often, again, we accumulate things that we kind of say, one day I'm going to get to that, or I'm going to figure out how to fix that, or I'll go get the special kind of tool that's going to allow me to fix that. And this is where things just tend to pile up. So make that decision that you give it a year. If it's going to sit around for that long unfixed, it's time to pass it along and let it go. Let it move on to somebody else who might be capable of fixing it, or just get it out of your house.
Wow. I think that's a great one too, because people do they know they need to do it to get it fixed or whatever, but then they delay, and then so just you need to make that decision and have that rule in place so that you don't have to be making that decision over and over again too.
Exactly. And moving that item from place to place to place. I see that happen so often. It's like, it's sitting on top of the washing machine. I'm going to fix it there. Then I'm going to move it down to the kitchen table. I think I'm going to fix it there. And then it gets moved out to the garage and it's still not fixed. And just a way of kind of making that rule to live by and deciding that after a fixed period of time, that item's going to leave your house.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll get our last 2 rules to live by. We are with Perry Kirsch from neat-freak.com talking about decision fatigue, and we'll be right back. Get organized now at myorganize.life. Need to turn those piles into files? We've got you covered. Hundreds of organizing products in a dazzling array of colors and sizes. There's an organizing solution for you. Shop online and they're delivered right to your office. Get organized now. Go to myorganize.life. That's myorganize.life. Get organized now at myorganize.life. We're back now on Keeping You Organized, talking about decision fatigue. How do we get over this concept of making so many decisions? And our guest, Perry Kirsch from neat-freak.com, has 10 rules to live by that's going to make this easier in your life. And Perry, we're down to the home stretch now, right? We only have 2 more to go. So what is number 9?
So number 9 is just this idea that you always have more time in the evening than you have in the mornings. So get it done at night rather than waiting until the morning. And by it, I mean anything you can possibly do to prep for your next day. That could be picking out what you're going to wear that evening, pressing it if it needs to be pressed, packing your briefcase, packing your lunch, getting your kids ready to get out the door, doing whatever you can possibly do in the evening, just so you can save that time in the morning. Because mornings are, constantly that time where everybody's rushing around, trying to get someplace on time. One little thing that throws off your morning can just throw off your entire day and make you late. You pull out your favorite outfit you think you're going to wear, you realize it's stained, you can't wear that, it sends you back to the closet, then you're having to make decisions about what you're going to wear. And I find that if there's just so much more time to accomplish things like that in the evening where you can problem solve. I mean, God forbid you're out of coffee and you figure that out at 7 a.m. If you figured that out at 6 or 7 p.m., you might be able to remedy that rather than having to leave the house without your morning coffee. So trying to simplify that process by doing things at night, I find is a great way, again, to just make your day start more smoothly and simplify some of those decisions that you might have to make in a more stressful situation.
Oh, that's a great one. And I know every time that I do something where I get it done the night before, I always feel better anyway and feel more successful. So, all right, we're down to our final rule to live by, number 10.
Final rule to live by. If you love it and you want to keep it, then you have to honor it. And a place of honor is not necessarily stuck in a dusty box in the back corner of your attic or sitting in a plastic bin down in your moldy basement. if you truly have something that you want to be a part of your life and your world, honor it, use it, bring it into your home, make space for it. So, if it's your grandmother's china that you inherited and you really love it, leaving it and sitting in your attic for 10 years is not necessarily honoring it.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing it into your everyday life, use it every single weekend. If a dish gets chipped, who cared? At least you are honoring those items. If you have a bunch of memorabilia sitting around, but it's kind of tucked away where you can't get to it or see it, bring it out, put it in a box on a coffee table where when your family gets together, you all can enjoy those old letters, those old pictures, those old items that remind you of your past. I feel like for so many people, these are the types of things that accumulate in our lives kind of back in the dark corners, and they weigh on us.
Mm-hmm.
And that weight is something that it has an emotional toll. And it makes it harder, I think, for us to just sort of, again, be creative, be productive, feel free to move about our days by, getting things done that really matter to us.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my rules to live by is if you're going to keep it, you need to honor it and bring it into your life all the time.
Right. Well, there's 10 great rules, and even if you have to just make one decision to follow those 10, you're going to eliminate a bunch of other decisions, which is going to relieve the fatigue. Well, before we go, let's just talk a little bit about your business, what you do, and how people can get a hold of you.
Sure. So I am primarily a residential organizer. I also do some time management coaching with clients. The best way to reach me is via my website. I'm based here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, but I also do work virtually with clients across the country. And my website is neat-freak.com, and there's a contact me page on my site, and that's the best way to find me.
Awesome. Well, Perry, this has been a great time. 2 episodes. Folks, if you didn't see or listen to the first one, make sure you go back and get the first 5 rules to live by. And I'm sure we'll have Perry back again if you're willing to come back.
I would be happy to.
That's one decision I'm glad you made. So, okay, folks. Well, there you have it. 10 rules to live by. Let's make this decision making a little less fatiguing. And again, the one decision that you need to make is come back next time on Keeping You Organized.